Buckle up, everyone, because today we are diving into the world of the Honda S660, which you probably haven't heard of before. It's a car so small, so quirky, so ridiculously fun, it makes a clown car look like a stretched limo. If you've ever dreamed of driving a go-kart on steroids, but with the refinement of a Japanese engineering masterpiece, then the S660 could be the car for you. And there are currently 12 listed for sale on car sales right now. The Honda S660 is a lightweight, mid-engined, rear-wheel drive roadster with a Targa roof, just like the best Ferraris and McLarens. This is a K-Class sports car that was produced between 2015 and 2022. Now, a K car is the smallest category of vehicle that is allowed to drive on Japanese freeways. They are tiny but mighty. The Japanese government limits the outer dimensions of these cars, the size of the engine, and the power they can make, and in return, owners of these efficient vehicles benefit from lower registration and taxes. Now granted, none of this sounds particularly like it lends itself to driving bliss, but bear with me. The Japanese are renowned for thinking outside of the box and have delivered a fun car for driving enthusiasts. Following on from its K-car predecessor, the Honda Beat, Honda decided to hold an in-house competition to choose who would be the lead engineer of the S660 development team. And it was 22-year-old Ryu Makamoto who beat out 400 other participants to make him Honda's youngest lead engineer in the company's history. Ryu then had 5 years to develop the S660, and a prototype debuted at the 2013 Tokyo Motor Show, where it was widely praised and both the public and motoring journalists were enthusiastic. The car went on sale in 2015, powered by a tiny, mid-mounted, turbocharged, 3-cylinder, 658cc engine. Yeah, smaller than some motorcycles. It pumps out a mighty 47 kilowatts and 104 newton meters of torque. This powerhouse was mated to either a 6-speed manual box or 7-speed CVT with sports paddle shifters. While these numbers may seem somewhat anemic, it is worth noting that the car only weighs 830 kilograms, which is less than a bag of feathers. Honda are renowned for producing some of the best manual transmissions in the business, and the box in the S660 is another blinder, with its slick, short-throw transmission and stubby gear lever, which would be at home in any Type R model. The 0 to 100 sprint takes a smidge over 10 seconds, so you probably wouldn't take this car roll racing, but with its torque vectoring system across the rear axle and mid-engine layout providing supreme manoeuvrability and crisp direction changes, a flowing mountain road is more likely its happy place. Although, with its low stance and toy car dimensions, it probably feels like you're doing 200 kilometers per hour through the city streets while you were still not bothering the speed limit. The steering is razor sharp, the chassis is as balanced as a Zen master, and the handling is so precise you'll feel like you are telepathically connected to the road. Throw it into a corner and it sticks like glue, daring you to push harder. It's the kind of car that makes you take the long way home just so you can hit a few more winding roads. The engine, while small, is surprisingly peppy. The turbo spools up with a satisfying whoosh. It's not fast in the traditional sense, but it's fast enough to make you smile. And let's be honest, driving a slow car fast is usually more fun than driving a fast car slow. The S660 name is derived from the S series, being Honda's range of convertible sports cars, such as the S2000, and the 660 portion relates to the 658cc engine capacity. The car looks like a Micro Machine NSX. Its minute size, combined with its mid-engine coupe styling, will garner more looks than a Ferrari or Lambo, and the attention is universally positive, something which can't always be said for the aforementioned supercars. It also features an engine cover that gives you a glimpse of the tiny powerhouse underneath. Is it practical? Well, it's a Kei car. And let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, lack of room. The S660 is not a practical car. If you are driving with a passenger, hopefully someone you know quite intimately, storage space is limited to a tiny box in the front. Unless you wish to take the roof off, then you'll have no storage, as that is where the rolled-up roof is stowed. The glove box is roughly the size of a deck of cards. If you are over 6 feet tall, you may feel like you are wearing the car rather than driving it. Your head may bang into the roll bar and your hair will be blasted by the wind during top-off motoring. This isn't a car for hauling groceries or picking up the kids. Your hip pocket will benefit from fuel consumption of just 4.7 litres per 100 kilometres and Honda's bulletproof engineering, with very few mechanical issues being reported for this car. Back in the day, there was talk about producing an export version with a more potent 1-litre turbo engine, which could potentially have been a rival for the Mazda MX-5 or Toyota 86. I reckon this would have been a riot to drive, but unfortunately it failed to materialise and the car remained a Japan-only proposition. However, there is strong aftermarket tuning support for these cars in Japan, with performance parts available from the likes of HKS, Spoon and Mugen, to name a few. I reckon with some straightforward mods, you could squeeze a good amount of extra power out of the turbo 3-cylinder. There are currently 12 Honda S660s advertised for sale on car sales, with prices starting at $24,500 for a 2016 automatic with 36,000 kilometres on the clock, up to $40,000 for a manual 2019 model with only 22,000 kilometres on the clock. There were 2 levels of trim offered: the Beta, which had cloth seats and still benefited from climate control and Bluetooth, and the Alpha, which added a leather interior, cruise control, and some carbon pieces. There are a few special editions released, and many have had some mods performed, so there are a few options to choose from to suit your needs. If it were me, I'd be looking for a 6-speed manual in white or yellow, perhaps with a few quality bolt-on go-fast bits. And there you have it. The Honda S660 is proof that good things come in small packages. It's a car that doesn't take itself too seriously, but still delivers a driving experience that is pure and full of joy. Is it practical? No. Is it fast? Not really. Does it make you smile every time you get behind the wheel? Absolutely. If you're the kind of person who values driving pleasure over everything else, then the S660 could be your spirit animal on 4 wheels. It's a reminder that sometimes less really is more. Thanks for joining us at Performance Car Lounge. If you have a performance car with an interesting story that you are selling, contact us at performancecarlounge.com.au.